So the Bank of Canada just announced another half-point increase in the overnight rate, and we are down a whopping 7% in average sale price year over year. So what does this mean for you going into 2023? Hi, my name is Adam Nadler. I'm the owner of Vision Real Estate. Thanks so much for tuning in again. And if you haven't yet, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Join our community if you enjoy this content. And if by the end of this video, you think to yourself, you know what, I'd like to chat with that guy about real estate, feel free to click on the link in the description below. That'll connect you to a calendar where you can book a time to chat with me at a time that is most convenient for you. Or feel free to just shoot me an email directly to adam@visionrealestate.ca and I will send you a personal video response within 24 hours. Okay, so this is really good timing because we just got a huge increase from the Bank of Canada and also got the stats from November, which just came out all at once. So we can kind of really look holistically at what's happening in the market right now and make some pretty good predictions into what's going to happen into the future. So let's jump right in and start with the stats because they just came out a couple of days ago for November. Let's start with sales volume. I probably sound like a broken record at this point because, again, for I think the third or fourth month in a row, we are down in sales volume by almost 50%. Now, that's year over year, but month over month, we are down 2.4% in sales volume. And October was an extremely slow month. So to be down another 2.4% from October into November is pretty staggering. Now, here's where things get interesting. When we look at price, year over year, we are down 7% in average price, which sounds really huge. But actually, month over month is not a huge difference. We are actually up 0.3% in average price month over month. This basically just tells us that the market is completely frozen. It's not moving. Prices haven't really moved much month over month, but sales volume is just getting killed. And I think now that the Bank of Canada has slammed us with another 0.5% increase in the overnight rate, we're going to continue seeing that well into the winter. New listings are down year over year 11.6%, and the sales to new listings ratio is down 38% year over year. This basically, again, reflects the fact that nobody's buying and nobody's selling. Everyone is just stopping what they're doing right now. There's far too much uncertainty in the market right now for anybody to be taking any chances. And I think that's what we're really seeing reflected in these numbers is it's not so much that we have high interest rates, it's that we have unpredictability with the future of interest rates. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. Property days on market, again, this looks a lot like what we saw a month ago. Days on market are up 83% year over year, and listing days on market are up 69% year over year. So for anybody who has listed their property, which are very few people, they're just sitting there. They're not selling, and I can see this reflected in my own listings as well. Now, I did want to take a second and look at this market compared to 2017 when we did see a dip from April moving through the rest of 2017. It was kind of a slow year for real estate other than Q1, and I want to compare that to what we're seeing this year. Here is what sales volume looks like compared to 2017. We can see the slowdown in the market in 2017, but when we compare that to 2022, there is no contest. 2022 is a much, much more tumultuous market. And it's because we have so much more money in the system. We have so much more leverage, which is creating so much of a bigger problem for the economy as a whole. And it's really affecting the real estate market. Now, I want to touch on condos really quickly because, again, as I've been stating, the core of the downtown condo market is faring a lot better than the rest of the GTA market, especially when you compare it to detached homes. And you can really see that again this month. The same thing as last month where we have sales volume getting cut in half again compared to last year, but the actual average selling price is up 4.5% compared to last year. This is because as interest rates climb, everybody's borrowing power gets cut. And when people's borrowing power gets cut, the buyer pools start to move downwards in price, and they all start to expand along the bottom. And what is at the bottom that most people can afford? Well, condos are at the bottom of the real estate price bracket. So the bottom price brackets of the buyer pools in the real estate market are expanding, and it is causing for a greater demand for the cheaper option. So one thing you can bet we will be seeing in 2023 is, yes, it's going to be a softer market overall, but the cheapest option will become the most popular option. And that means that condos are going to fare a lot better than detached homes. This is why you'll often hear me talking about upsizing being a good option in a downward trending market. Now let's touch on the condo rental stats for a second. They're again just doing extremely well as interest rates climb. It's very, very normal for us to see rental rates skyrocket, and this is exactly what we're seeing. Once again, in November, for another month in a row, we are seeing a 20% increase year over year in rental pricing. Total new listings for rentals are down 25% year over year, and the total apartment rentals are also down 17% year over year. So again, not a lot of options to choose from and a lot of competition for what is out there because people cannot afford to buy, or at least are very hesitant to buy when there's so much unpredictability in the interest rates moving forward. But now let's talk about what exactly is happening with the interest rates and inflation and why we're seeing such aggressive behavior moving into the new year from the Bank of Canada. Well, it's very simple. Their one job is to keep inflation down and hit their target of 2%. Now, even though they've raised interest rates very aggressively, from this graph here from the Bank of Canada's website, you can really see that inflation is fighting back. Now, this has a lot to do with government spending and how our federal government still continues to be on a spending spree, despite the fact that inflation is now showing a really stronger front than we had initially expected. And we're going to hear a lot more about entrenched inflation moving forward into the new year, because this is a very serious problem. And the Bank of Canada truly is a one-trick pony. They've only got one card up their sleeve, and that's raising interest rates. It's the only thing that they can do to really battle inflation. However, when we look at inflation, inflation is really measured as a ratio against units of production in our society. So when you have interest rates climbing very quickly in order to battle inflation, you're kind of killing the entire economy in essence, in order to try to kill inflation. And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the Bank of Canada raise rates aggressively enough to try to slow the economy and slow everything down enough to the point where we start to kill inflation. However, in the process, they were also killing the economy's ability to increase unit of production as a whole. All the while, the government continues to spend on programs. So what does this mean for you, and what should we expect moving forward into 2023? Well, at least for the first couple of months of the year, I think we should be expecting more of the same. It is going to be a rough start to the year, and I don't think that we're really going to see volume and sales pick up in general with the economy until the spring. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think by commenting in the comment section down below, and I will see you next time. If you like that video, click the subscribe button on the right, or feel free to enjoy another video here on the left.